Hello, Iain and Sheila.
Hi, hi, Seven. Hi, Claire. Hi.
I have to say, I've got a bit of background envy. I was trying to work out where to put my computer, either against the messy bookshelf or with a lovely picture behind, which I thought I'll go for the lovely picture. But then actually yours is an actual, it's not a virtual background, it is really, oh my goodness me, that's incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about Casa de Esperanza and what the vision is for it all and everything?
Okay, so we've been running for 4.5 years, and it is a home for under 18-year-old boys that have problems with drugs, alcohol. They basically mainly on the streets. The reason why we did this was because there's lots of rehabilitation centres for over 18s, and they're normally revolving doors. They go in 3 months, come out, and nothing happens, and they're back in. Legally, the boys were not meant to be in there, but there were lots of boys that were in there off the street. So they got raided, and the police had a big purge, and they got rid of under 18s out of these centres.
Yeah.
So Iain and I are both got experience with drugs and helping addicts, and we've had 31 boys altogether.
Wow.
And we have it as a restoration. It's a restoration home, and we keep it to a maximum of 8 boys, because most of the boys that come in are off the streets. They've never been in education. Our youngest at the moment, he was 7 and he's been with us for a year, and he's only 8, and he's so sweet. And his brother, and they could not read nor write. None of them could read or write when they come in, because most of them haven't been in school. They've been on the streets. They've been involved in other things. So they come in and they need a family home, and they need to get back into education, and they need to get some hope. So what our aim is for these boys under 18 is to be stabilized, come off their drugs, be rehabilitated, but restored, and to give them hope and a future.
Yeah.
And
the name Casa de Esperanza means
hope.
House of Hope.
And House of Hope. And we have the Jeremiah verse, I give you a hope and a future. And that's our vision, that these boys will actually have a different life, and the cycle of, their lives will be changed.
Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the actual boys in your home and their stories?
Yeah, I mean, I must tell you about our Juanito. We've had him since he was 13, and he's been with us 4 years. And I'm probably going to cry, because he's going to go to university soon. And like you felt with Jake, I feel that with him. And there's 2 of them. The other one is, they're both going off at the same time. The other one's been with us 3 years, and hell, but Juanito came in 13. He had been 19 hours a day in a car wash place. He had trench foot, and his mum was a state. Dad, I don't think, was ever around or in prison, and he was sent out to the car wash. And he came in, and he had not had any education from about 9 years old. So that was the level he was at. And he now has got such amazing grades at the standard of A level. It's called Prepper here, Prepper Warrior. He has got actual awards, and he has got grants, and he has got scholarships, and he is just such a delightful boy. He is so special. And Hel also has got such high grades as well. And Hel, it wants to be a doctor and can go in to become a doctor. And Juanito wants to be an engineer. And they're both applying, and this is part of a prayer thing. They're both applying for the top military university here, which would be amazing for them to get into, because then all their education is provided for, plus they get wages, because they're actually in the military. But we've found out that they have 4 tests to get in, and although they've got their grades so high, they have to have 800 question psychological test before they even see a psychologist. And some of the questions are, have you ever had, or your family have ever had, anything to do with drugs? So these boys who've been clean for 4 years plus, and we're their family, unless we get prayer, these boys are not going to get through.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. So those two, but the one I really want to tell you about was a little boy we had. He was 11 years old. He saw, I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional about this, but he saw his parents killed and one of them decapitated in front of him. His mum at 11 years old. And they brought him to us. And he was working with a psychologist. He was doing really well. And we had him for about 10 days. And suddenly the social services said, there's an uncle who will look after him. He wants him. And we're directed and dictated to by legally the social services. So they took him and we kept saying, we'll have him back, we'll have him back. And within a few weeks, he ended back up on the streets. And for whatever reason, presumably because he had been a witness to crimes, he got dealt with by the cartel and he is now brain damaged. He cannot walk. He's lost to that hope and that, future that he could have. And that is sad. But then I've got to think about our little 8-year-old Tadeo, who we've had for a year. And his smile would just break your heart. He's so lovely. So anyway, there are lots more stories. You can read them on our website and our Facebook, which is on Seven Vineyards website.
Amazing. Just tell us a little bit about the challenges and how you find funding and what that looks like for you.
I think each month we need at the moment about £5,000 each month to keep it going with staff and everything.
Church attendance in Canada is down 50% since COVID. There's, Ukraine, there's so many other demands for funding.
Yeah.
But 50% of all our money comes from the UK, which we're very grateful for.
Things like, without Bristock and things, we wouldn't have functioned, and the UK has been brilliant. And even the latest video we sent out, which is actually very American, the response we've had is a little bit from Mexico and quite a good response from England.
We're very grateful.
As I say, I thought I got quite down. I thought we were going to have to close in August, and we feel more like, with George Muller, we're just sort of like every month,
every day, every meal.
Are we going to get something in? And so far, I think, we're all right.
We've got 50% coming in regularly.
We're probably all right now till the end of December.
This
year. So I think we will get to the end of December, and then we'll just see where we're at, really.
But each month, God.
Yeah, it's just
God gives us
bit by bit.
Right.
But I think that just drives you into Jesus. It just drives you there, and I think therefore, for me, it's been just trying to find a new place in Him where He's all that matters. It's a good thing, to actually sort of have a bit of pressure to sort of count it all joy, because actually where do you go? You have to go into Jesus. You have to find a place, and that's the best place to be.